Well, hey there. Welcome to the channel. I would just like to give everybody a huge shout out and a big old thank you for all your support while making these videos. It is greatly appreciated. Now, let's bleed some brakes. This is a pretty simple process. I had a couple people in the comments ask about this video, and so we're gonna do it. And the one thing you need is a brake bleeder kit. You can get it on Amazon. I'll leave a link down in the description. It's called the Easy Mountain Bike Brake Bleeder Kit, and it's 17 bucks. So here's part of the kit. You're also going to need a couple items along with the kit, and that would be a Allen wrench set, a pair of pliers for the cotter pin, and really that's about it. So you want to hook the tube up to the syringe, and obviously that's not too hard to do. And at the end of the tube there's a little fitting on there, and the kit comes with several fittings, so you just have to find the one that fits for you, okay? And there's another fitting that you need for the cup that goes on the brake lever. And here is the oil that comes with the kit. It's just mineral oil. And you want to put a little bit of mineral oil inside the syringe before you do anything else, because you do not want air in your system. So you see there's no air in there at all. It's all fluid. And now we can pull the bleeder screws out of the handle and get started. So we got the screw out, and you want to make sure if there's some sort of grommet or seal that you don't lose that. Mine didn't have anything on there, so we're good to go with that. You don't want to lose that, so put it in a safe place. Now we're going to install the cup. Take that fitting that you found that you know screws into the hole there, and obviously just screw it in the hole. And once you do that, just get it snug, put the cup on there, and the cup has little rubber grommets so it shouldn't leak anywhere, and add some oil. I go a little bit over halfway. Now you can do this when you're changing the fluid out, or you feel spongy brakes or something like that. Now we're going to go toward the brake caliper and take care of the issues down here. So first thing you want to do is remove the bleeder screw at the top of the caliper there. And then we're going to pull the brake pads off and put this block in there after we pull the caliper off. So let's get the caliper off of the wheel here. And it's just 2 screws. I take the bottom one off first, and that way you're not fighting things. You make sure you hang on to your washers. There's usually a sort of a washer in between the caliper and the bracket, and you just don't want to lose them. And then pull them off, put them in a safe space, pull off your caliper, and take the cotter pin out that's holding the brake pads in. That's what you got the handy dandy pliers for. Just straighten that out and give her a tappy tap and pull that cotter pin out. Slide the brake pads out. And then we put the block in. And the reason why we do this is because those pads will soak up oil. And so if you got this plastic block in there, you can spill oil and clean it up without ruining your pads, because otherwise they'll squeak all the time. So that's really the easiest way to do that. And plus the block will also allow you to squeeze and put pressure on without spreading the pistons too far too. So it's a really good idea to use that. And then we remove the bleeder screw, get that off of there, and pretty simple process here. Make sure you don't lose the grommet on that one, and we screw that right into the bleeder screw hole. Now we want to make sure we draw some fluid from the cup up top into the syringe down at the bottom there. We want to do it slow, and what we're looking for is no air. You want to make sure that you got no air going through the system at all. So slowly start pulling that through, and you'll be able to see little tiny air bubbles. Let's see if we can do a zoom in here. Yeah. See those little air bubbles? That's what you want to get rid of. You want to make sure there's none of those in your system, otherwise it'll be spongy. So just draw it out a little bit. Make sure you pull all those little air bubbles out. And you want to make sure that you don't run out of juice in your bucket up there. So if you have to refill it, then refill it. But just keep an eye on that and pump it a couple times, and it should feel tight. And if you look closely, you can see that syringe is actually moving when I pump it. You see how it's pushing the syringe up? That means there's no air in the line, and it's doing its job. So I push a little bit back in there, and then we get ready to take everything back off. So there's a little plunger in the kit. You just put that inside the cup up top up there, and then loosen that up and put the cup in the leftover oil back in the jar. So we're trying to keep air out of the system. So once you get the little bracket off, you want to put that screw in as soon as possible. So I keep the screw in my hand and pull the little grommet off of here and screw it in as soon as I possibly can. Now, it's gonna be full, like super full, so don't worry if you spill a little bit or whatever. Obviously, we took the brake pads out, so you don't have to worry about any of that. So we tighten her down, wipe it down a little bit, and we should be good at the top there. Do not press the brake lever or handle while you're putting the screws in, otherwise you're gonna put air in the system. So we do the same thing down here. Before I put the brake pads and all that on there, I want to take the syringe off. So we're going to take this syringe off here and get that screw in the hole as soon as we possibly can. I'm trying to get everything ready to go so that like I can just kind of swap it, you know, as soon as I possibly can. So the screw goes in the hole. And there you go. You do not have any air in your system at all. So just want to wipe down everything really good. And when you pull that block out, be sure to, clean up your pistons a little bit if you need to. And get ready to put the pads back in. So you can see there's a little retainer clip that's on the brake pads itself. So you want to put that back on there. It helps spread the pads open. And squeeze that on there. And stick everything back on the caliper. Just like this. Put the cotter pin in the hole. Bend it over. And there you go. You didn't get any crap all over your brake pads. And you should be good. And the rest of it, just put the caliper back on. Now, most of the time it's going to be centered, right? Like as long as you use that block and you do all that stuff, your pads are pretty much centered, but you might have to adjust it left or right a little bit if you're getting a squeak or if you feel like something's rubbing, but that's all pretty easy to take care of. So don't freak out if you hear something rubbing after you put it all together. It's normal. You just make it a little bit of an adjustment. Just loosen these up here and adjust it however you need to. And then yeah, that's pretty much it. What I like to do too is test the brakes out a little bit here. So what I'm gonna do is just get on the handle and squeeze it a couple times, make sure it feels nice and tight. And you can see it's pushing down the suspension so it's staying and nothing's bottoming out and it feels really secure. And there you go. That's the Easy Bleed kit. And really, it makes life a lot easier having that $20 kit. So now, if you have any problems, questions, or concerns, feel free to leave the comment down below and I will get to you as soon as I can. That's it. Have a beautiful week and we will talk to you on the next one.